As usual, a quick map overview. So first off, let's take a look at the west. Starting here, we have 3rd Main Battle Tank, 1st Platoon C Company. You can get a damage report here. It's lost the Crow's 50 caliber machine gun, and it's lost its IR optics. So as you can see, it no longer has line of sight through smoke, although it can still see plenty normally there. It's just killed that BMP, but it's taking fire from this direction over here, as you can see from the 30mm impacts that have hit here. So I'd recommend backing this vehicle up and getting it out of the fight. This Bradley here, be mindful of that as well, because it may be able to get hit by incoming fire from the flank here. Alright. Down here, this vehicle can't really see a whole lot to its immediate front, because somebody popped IR smoke from a laser warning. So this vehicle here needs to get moved, as well as this Bradley here, given that they have IR smoke here, which they can't see through. Obviously the enemy can't see through it, but it blocks their line of sight as well. This vehicle here, actually in a pretty good position. As you can see, it's got eyes in this main battle tank right over here, so it may be able to engage them next turn. This vehicle here, doing just fine. It's been engaging enemy targets on the flank here all game, so this is well positioned for 1st Platoon C Company. The infantry here, lying in wait on the edge of the forest. Not great line of sight down the road, but good lines of sight down this little strip of terrain right here. I might move them up a little bit further to the edge of the forest. Hob, this is your C Company HQ. You got up to this point unmolested, and you can see you now have line of sight basically down the entire length of the road, hull down. So you are in a great fighting position right here. Might even move more tanks up. C Company XO, good line of sight there. C Company 2nd Platoon HQ, reasonably good lines of sight up to the center now. So this is a good position for them to be in. This vehicle here, not great lines of sight up to the flank, but it does have some to its immediate front and to its immediate left. So just be mindful of enemy threats to your flank here. And this tank here in Ornette Woods did not move up. One thing to think about might be looking at a fighting position here, where you've got the house screening your flanks, or possibly a fighting position somewhere over here with the house screening your flanks, or even maybe just somewhere in this general vicinity here, because we do have a large enemy troop concentration here, as well as a large enemy concentration here. And it looks to me like they've got at least 3 to 4 tanks in each of these woods here. Alright, this vehicle here, you can see the enemy Tiger. That's a light reconnaissance vehicle, basically a Humvee. It took a shot at it during the game. It missed. Hopefully it'll engage it again. But this vehicle right now, great firing position for it to be in. Alright, as you can see, D Company, its vehicles here, can't really see a whole lot. The headquarters units here. Alright, taking a look over here in the 100 Acre Woods. Nothing really's changed with the exception of what's happened right here. This Bradley got lased. Takeen, this is your Bradley. It got lased, so it lit up an IR warning. My guess would be it got lased by this tank right here, but this means now that 1st Platoon D Company's vehicle cannot see. So either this vehicle needs to move up or reposition. But right now, these vehicles in the 100 Acre Woods, because the Russians are hanging back, we really can't see a whole lot from them. So in the thread, Ace posted a plan for tactical movement. Let's take a look at some movement positions you guys can move to this game. So as I've said earlier, you have fighting positions here. You have firing positions here, here, firing positions here. You also have some firing positions you can fight from here. That might give you some good flank shots across the map. And then you have obviously this cluster of buildings right here in the North Road Junction. One thing I want you to be very mindful of is looking down this road right here, you have a T90 MBT. So anything that moves through this strip of terrain right here is extremely likely to get exposed. So I'd recommend avoiding that cone of fire at all costs and moving units around the side. Also be mindful of the fact that even though there is this low rise in terrain here, it is possible that the enemy tanks and BMPs in here will be able to see you. So just be careful of this area here, and also particularly this area right here as you're planning your movement phase. Taking a quick look through the infantry, they're all together now. They do have their Javelin missiles, but again, no launchers, so you'll want to acquire those next turn. I would be cautious about leading with Bradleys through this area. Again, Bradleys really can't take much of a hit. And we've seen what's been happening to all these columns of smoke there. When their APCs go up against tanks, they lose every single time. All right. Taking a look here, again, this vehicle can't see out of the woods because it's popped IR smoke, so 2nd Platoon D Company is going to need to find a new position for this, as well as for this. As usual, I'd recommend taking a look at this firing position right here, maybe this firing position right here, and possibly some firing positions here along these woods here. This actually gives you a pretty good line of sight out of the center of the map. But if you're interested in a more aggressive movement, there's also the possibility of using this area in the North Farm VP, which gives you good line of sight through there and through there. Or possibly a position that looks through here. Sorry. Keyholing through those trees. Or even if we're very, very aggressive, we might consider moving troops up to this strip of the woods right here near the Orghosk road objective. You can see here the Russians do have one vehicle. This is a Tiger. It's a multi-purpose vehicle similar to our Humvee. It's up armored to resist about 7.62 millimeter rifle fire, so we can penetrate it with our 50 caliber sniper rifles or any of the 50 cal machine guns on our tracks. And it does have a 30 millimeter AGS grenade launcher on there, similar to the US Mark 14 grenade launcher. It's a decent little scout. It doesn't have much in the way of advanced optics, and you can see here, we've got a tank that can see it. So it's not going to be long for this world. And the fact that we haven't seen much else in this flank suggests that this is pretty much the only thing they've got over here. A few recon assets. Ace, if you want to move tanks and Bradleys through here, you will fuck that dude up. All right. Taking a look real quickly, Jaguars, at your snipers. You can see your sniper team is still just sitting out, hanging out right here. Until that Tiger gets killed, I wouldn't recommend being too aggressive with these guys. There's a possibility they might get caught in the open and lit up. But these guys over here, you can see they're making a move over to here, and they're going to have a great line of sight out of these houses right here. So good call putting them here. As for these Bradleys here, this guy recently got this guy and this guy have been engaging enemy units. I think this guy just fired a tow missile. So they've been doing well this turn, actually pretty well positioned, and I might keep them where they are to keep screening our flanks. So all in all, just a very quick overview. Be mindful of the units that have blocked themselves with IR smoke. These tanks here have blocked themselves with IR smoke. These tanks here have blocked themselves with IR smoke. And because of recent events, these vehicles here have blocked themselves with IR smoke, as well as this vehicle here. So keep that in mind. Other than that, we are doing very, very well this game. We've got some great fighting positions, and Ace, I think if you want to make an aggressive movement along this flank, it's absolutely a viable thing to do. So that's all for me.